it's crazy the pull that the West has on the world. Like a lot of people like to reflect on the fact that from the East Coast, you know, it came from. But then I'm like telling people when it came to the West, it like
to another level.
Yeah, you had cats that try to catch the bars, and you got cats that got real. They can get deep in the metaphor, especially them, you know, not park and all that. But it's just what does it feel like just to know that regardless of what happens in the future, you've put a stamp on the West that nobody can ever take? That's a real body of work.
I'm not done, you know what I'm saying? So it's hard, but as I kind of organize my legacy for, like when I first got in this shit, man, I didn't even give a fuck about legacy, bro.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to sell Sherm no more.
Yeah.
That shit, I was like tired of going to jail. Yeah. You know, like gangbanging and dope dealing work, bro, when you're not tripping or going to jail.
Yeah, at all.
And when I was not tripping, it was like cool, like whatever. But when I got tired, you know what I'm saying, it was like, damn, I found something else. So I got into hip hop to create an opportunity really to change my life, like they say hip hop should, and it did. But I looked up and I was in it and I was making a living, but I'm like, damn, like my homies getting out of prison and I can't get them jobs that pay what I'm making.
Yeah.
But I'm with Birdman and I'm with Lil Wayne and I'm with Mac 10 and they got all their friends hired. Birdman might got 12, 13 of his homies working for him. Lil Wayne might got 14 of his homies working for him. I'm like, damn, one of my homeboys, this is my Ace Boone Coon, my homeboy Lil J. And he gets out of prison and I can't give him no job. And then my focus changed. It stopped being about me and make sure I was straight. I realized I woke up and I was straight and I was like, yo, I need to be able to help friends out with opportunities because this hip hop shit has created like an empire, a big business. Yeah. I can do a lot of dope shit for people. So that really changed it for me. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. Like that's the thing. Like with my boy right now. Like not so much the music. Like we got to that age to where it's just we're already older. Like we didn't get in when we were young. So it's kind of like. But I got in just to talk my shit real quick and.
Yeah, you're a trailblazer.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I told you when we first met. Like I remember seeing your shit early and like, damn, this is dope. Like. I know this story. Yeah. I know people. I grew up with people. I know this story. I know the brother that came up and is from this hood and and all that. And it's like, so to hear somebody voice his story was always special to me because some of the closest people to me, really, that's their story. Yeah. But you were like one of the earliest people before podcast was popping and you just was doing these dope things, giving like this look into a part of LA street urban culture that's really niche and small, but it's real if you really from around here. Yeah. So it was dope to hear it.
You know, it's funny because like even with that, like a lot of people when I first came out, they were like, he's trolling. That's what he's trolling. That can't be him. One fool said, "Man, I'm nervous for him." I said, "Man, like they
don't have no idea."
Yeah, so they didn't know. They too busy watching movies, thinking, "Oh, you said this, you said that." Like
no, this is like, but. The life you know what I've been telling a lot of, I used to tell Kendrick this all the time, like, where we from is so small. Yeah. Like, it's only so many ghettos. The ghettos feel like they everywhere. Like, you feel like when you grew up, you like, it's a ghetto everywhere. It's not, bro. It's a ghetto in every state, but they are not everywhere. Yeah. You know what I mean? And Salt Lake and Utah, Alden is the ghetto, and it's small. Yeah. You know what I mean? Nobody go to Alden. I went. You know what I mean? You go to Seattle, Tacoma is the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Like Spokane got a ghetto, but they're not everywhere. So, like your story, the story that you tell, if you not really from the streets, you know what I mean? Like I know Poppy from 7-0. I know different brothers from, you know what I mean, from Largo. So, like I know that that's a real story. And it was dope to hear it voiced publicly. I remember my homeboy hit me, he's like, "Oh, you see this dude?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, is that real?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, that's real." Like that shit really happens, but you got to think, ghettos is so small, so that story is even smaller. Yeah. So it was dope to hear it being voiced. Like I think that's important, you know, as hip hop goes to this evolution of explaining the culture without rapping sometimes. So I thought that was dope.
You know, it's when people ask me, they're like, "Well, why'd you get on YouTube?" Like obviously, financial gain would be a big part of it, but at the end of the day, I just wanted to tell my story. You're only going to make so much money off YouTube unless you delve a little bit, unless you pick up a good following or you delve a little bit too deep. And you know, we've been through that life, so we know that there's only certain things we can actually say before you cross a line that you can't get back from. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
and we watching it happen right now.
Man, it's
in a lot of ways. Whereas like culturally, these are like some of the greatest violations, and there's no coming back from them.
Man, you know what? I was gonna pick your brain about a few things. I ain't gonna throw too many names out here. You know what I'm saying? Sure. But it's like with the whole no jumper thing. Like,
sure, yeah.
I don't know. Like, what do you think about like that whole energy? Like, I've had my little voice about Wack, but it was more because he said certain things. Like,
sure.
So I went at him.
Yeah.
But just like, what do you feel about the antics? I know you don't want to, you know.
No, it's all good. I mean, look, man, no jumper. Like Adam has built a platform that has monetized street urban culture, and he understands it in a way. So, like, if hip hop is street urban culture personified through the arts, they call them the elements: MCing, DJing, you know what I mean, breaking, graffiti.
Yeah.
Right, and then some they add the knowledge, right? That's street urban culture personified through those means. Adam, like, has figured out a way to not do it through the arts, where it's just literally the culture itself.
Yeah.
Imagine it like food, right? And, you know, hip hop is how you cook the food. You know what I mean? It's the way you season it and the way you cook it and all of that, and then you eat it, and it's like, that's hip hop. It's like, it might could give you a little high blood pressure, but it's at least it's nourishing and it's easy to make. You feel me? That's what make it the shit. Adam is just giving you the seasoning. Ain't no nourishment. It's
just straight
tablespoon of salt.
No cut.
You know what I'm saying? So to his credit, I think it's brilliant for him, right? Because it's like, he knows it, because he'll go get a nigga that's just a gangbanger.
Yeah.
And why are you talking to this nigga? You have no business even talking to this person.
Who is this dude?
You know what I mean? And why would you put, you know, him and, you know, but again, when you're an artist, you're refined and you're taught to handle yourself and not incriminate yourself. You know what I'm saying? But when you just from the corner and you like, you know, our shit is fucked up because we think nobody give a fuck but our homeboys.
Yeah.
And then you find some fucking white man cousins interested in your life. You want to tell him everything. This is like therapy, because we be really needing that therapy. So they sit up there with cousin, you know, be probably talking a little too much to get him in trouble. But I think he's really smart because he knows exactly what he's selling.
Yes.
As far as Wack is different because, again, it's like Wack is a really smart businessman that uses the culture.
Yeah.
Like, he's from the culture like all of us, but he changed his mindset a long time ago about how he was going to do business.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people entertain him that have no business entertaining him. I don't care what he's saying. You know what I mean? You're supposed to do business with him and that's it.
That's it.
And I think other people get caught up. And everybody else up in this space is just like trying to find their way out of the streets. They trying to find their way to some substantial income. And you the culture, so, you know what I mean, you feel like you got to double down on it. So it's a tough out when you don't have the artistic ability.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you got to say some shit. Well, you probably going to say some shit. Just like in gangbang, you going to say some shit that's going to piss people off.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps happening. So,
you know,
it's definitely a unique thing that, you know, we watching happen for sure. I don't know how it's going to end up. But it's interesting. I sometimes catch it, but most times I don't trip.
You know, I used to be on it religiously because it just used to blow my mind exactly how far Wack goes and all the people that he brought into his shit show, because it ain't just Wack no more. Now Wack is kind of docile.
Sure.
It's all the cats around him. You got dudes, I ain't even gonna say their name, but they spinning blocks on camera like, and I'm like, I'm seeing this shit unfold and I'm like, it really makes no sense. Like, if you trying to change your life and you trying to go this way, why in the hell would you be on camera spinning?
Because this is all they think they can offer. And it's a fucked up thing, you know what I mean? And, like, Wagner's a really smart person, man.
He is.
Very cunning, you know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of 48 laws of power energy. And that's a very deceiving thing. And it's dangerous, you know what I mean? But Cousin's grown enough to know the game he playing, you know what I mean? So long as he okay with, you know, He might have to kill a nigga. He might get killed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's smart enough to know. He been to prison. He know how this shit works. So, and all of them other niggas, I feel bad for them only because like people that's trying to volunteer that type of service.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's all they feel they can offer. And it's like everybody that come from where we come from got so much to offer. But you get so reduced down. I used to have a homie, bro, from 18, and he used to always be like, man, I'll do whatever. I'll kill this nigga. I'm like, bro, I'm not fucking with you to have you do the same thing you could have did for your homies for free. I don't need you to do nothing to no nigga for me. Like, I'm trying to get you out of this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So don't volunteer to hurt no nigga fucking with me because I'm not, that ain't the program. I wouldn't even use you to do it. I would do it myself. So, brothers got to see more. Like it was a time when my homies asked me that I was upset with no jumping. I'm like, nah, bro. Like I get the conundrum.
Yeah.
I get the conundrum, bro. Of you coming from like rap did it for me.
Yeah.
Like rap became like my therapy. Like if you listen to all the early Glasses shit, this is what I was really going through. We really was getting shot at. Was shooting at niggas, going to jail, selling dope. It became my therapy.
Yeah.
So I get how it is sitting in front of that mic talking to that man that has an interest in where you came from and how therapeutic and how, you know what I mean, relieving it is. But then you got to think like, you know what I mean, like this ain't no therapy session.
Yeah.
Nigga, everybody can hear you.
There's consequences.
Yeah, everybody can hear you. Like if you talk to a real therapist, that's a private thing. Nigga, this is in front of whoever pressed play.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So is you know, I could talk shit about niggas who go and oh man, you know, they stupid. It's not, bro. They just people wanna change their life so bad. They want people to know their story. They so tired of being ignored. That's why gangbanging work. Gangbanging is that because niggas be tired of ignored and they struggle going unheard and they find a bunch of other niggas that can relate to their struggle.
Yeah.
So I respect that, and I would never say a nigga dumb going on there. You know what I mean? And I would never say Adam is crazy for being invested in something that he's been listening to his whole life. Like it's like he gets to talk to us for free.
For free.
You know, like he probably only heard Too Short and E40 and them and Ice Cube and Snoop, and then one day he could talk to somebody that come from that shit. Like this is his dream come true. Like he could talk and you could listen to him or like Vlad or certain people, and they'd be like, yeah, you know, well, you know, I talked to the homie, and that this is their dream to be our homies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, back to the same thing with the rappers from the West, you know what I'm saying? That's why you got to understand how powerful it is to be us.
Yeah.
That's why you can't trade it to be drill. You can't trade it for trap. Nope. I don't care how popular you think it is, because currently, we always in season.
Yeah.
Like nigga, it's a white man, cause Adam built a whole platform off of talking to us. That's how powerful we is, and if we don't understand the value in that shit, you know, we gonna be the ones not making the money. Cause Adam, he's living out his dreams.
Yeah, he is.
He is at the cool table talking to the streets.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like this is his dream. He killing. You know what I'm saying? So we got to understand how to create better value for ourselves for it. And also remember, that nigga is not a therapist. That nigga, this is not a session. That nigga, this could have dire consequences. You know what I'm saying? So I just pray for the best in the whole situation. You know what I mean? And everybody know what they doing. Yeah. See, the only people who don't know what they doing is the people that's going there to be for the therapy.
Yeah.
They really think like, man, this gonna change my life. It's not. It's not. It's not a very. There's a very slim chance to change. It's gonna change your life, all right. It might get you a bullet, you know, some time. But at the end of the day, you know, you just got to be a lot more, you know, careful with what you sharing in these situations. But you know, as long as you keep, I'm happy for the brothers that's trying to change their life, and that's why I don't want to discourage them, because there is something that can be made out of that, but you got to do a lot more work than going to sit up there and talk to this man.
Yeah, real talk.